Welcome back to another episode of Styleplus Next Designer, the new web series where we search for the next up-and-coming marching arts apparel designer. I'm your host, Vance Anderson, and in this episode, we'll be taking a look at the designer submissions for the Digital Design Challenge in collaboration with GPG Music. In the last episode, the designers were challenged to create 3 complete looks comprised of a band top, tunic, unitard, and flag design from a selection of GPG Music show themes. The designers have officially finished up their show designs and are ready to present them to the judging panel for critique. Joining us this episode on the judging panel, we have Steve Martin, owner and CEO of GPG Music, and Stephanie Chavez, director of color guards at Friendswood High School and the caption head for the Phantom Regiment color guard. The first designer to present their looks is Milo, whose show themes included Fire and Ice, Pathways, and Pyramids of Egypt.
For Fire and Ice, I did the ice on the left and the fire on the right. Sort of a divider. It can be either fire or ice, this little pattern here. It's like the fire and the ice clashing in the middle. And for a little bit of detail, I have some cracks and some snowflake things. So it's like the left arm is like freezing up. On the right side, I have sort of a smoky look. For the flag, I made it so that as you're spinning the flag, it appears that the fire is sort of gaining on the ice.
Okay, one of the things that I'm noticing right away is that big white glowing streak down the center that I believe it looks like separating the fire and ice. If I could get a closer look. Could we zoom in on the unitard?
Yeah, it's almost like a smoke, like when water meets ice, it's like the smoke after. It's like the colliding moment. Instead of having it blended, they're creating like that smoky collide between both. I really like the idea behind that and how it separates and runs down the leg. Love the look of the fire as well and how the graphic looks on that.
Yeah, it's very catchy and it's very obvious what we're trying to do. That's fun. Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice. Creates more of an actual pattern between both.
This is the band top. I do want to say that for at least the looks that we've seen so far, I notice a lot going on in the front and not much going on in the back.
I agree with that. Maybe the flame could have gone more towards the back and engulfed more of the back. It could have given you that front and back feeling when you're doing drill. Maybe they would have taken some of the flames back there.
Right.
The flag is cool. I wish the same thing as the other one, that maybe the flame ran a little bit more across, especially with how defined the flame is with the graphic. And maybe looking at it coming in from a corner instead to give it a little bit more texture when it's spinning. But I definitely like the idea of that.
For me personally, I don't typically like when a flag design is set in those vertical lines. I do kind of like everything off skew so that it just spins a little better when it's on the field. Yeah,
for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of missing that bright blue that was in all the uniforms.
Yeah.
And I feel like the flag should be where it's going to pop the most.
Pathways as a show is about a road to self-expression. I drew a lot of inspiration from the cover. All this is mostly black and white, and then the pathway becomes red. The black and white chain going up into the red to give it not only that pop of color, but the symbolism that you're looking for in a show like this. The flag for this one is a little bit different. There's a butterfly on there. It's about change, individuality. I added blue, so it's also this new color being introduced, the pathway into the light.
Yeah, straight to the point with the arrows.
And the maze.
Yeah, I love the maze. Not sure about the chains on the leg or what the intent is behind that, but I definitely do like the wrapped around look around the leg. And same thing, keeping it cohesive with the maze, making it really clear and to the point.
Yeah, and it's a subtle thing, but as that chain went down and the leg got darker, the chain switched to lighter. It's, real good. Figuring out how to use the color space there.
This flag, it is soft.
Yeah.
It's very muted.
Yes, definitely. Thinking more of a pop behind it. They use the red on the uniform, so maybe red is something if they're trying to tie everything in that could have popped in similar to the other one as well. And I'm not sure the intent with the print and the butterfly. Maybe I'm missing something as to why that's on there, but for sure it feels very dark. Everything feels very, very gray.
One of my themes was Pyramids of Egypt. For it, I have the lightest on the top and the darkest on the bottom. And the hieroglyphs make it seem like the lower you go onto the uniform, the deeper into the pyramid that you go. I use reds and blues because those were common paint colors used on the hieroglyphs. The symbol is called an ankh. It's a symbol of life and rebirth tied to the ancient Egyptian god Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife. On the back of the band top, we have a scarab. It's also a symbol of rebirth. So overall with this theme, I went in depth with the symbolism.
Yeah, can we zoom in on the back? Yep, I love that. That piece is really, really cool. I think it'd look cool even more so on the front, more than anything else. But that's definitely a cool look when you're facing the back. And the subtlety of the blend of the blue on the sleeves, I think it's a really cool look for what this is. Oh, are those the pyramids?
Oh, onto the unitard. I like that.
Yeah, it's a little pyramid.
Those, like those writings into the pyramid. I wish there was a little bit more going on in that hip section so that we don't draw as much attention to it.
Yeah, I do like the mummy wrap around the leg. I think that's really cool. It looks like the hieroglyphics on the leg. I almost want them to be darker and maybe, like you said, maybe running up a little bit more, so it really like makes the center a little bit more flattering and form-fitting for all performers. I like the look of the sun coming over that. Did the tunic have the same thing over theirs? Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the sun is different color from the tunic to the unitard to kind of give you something different in context. And for sure here, I would maybe make the graphics a little bit darker, just to get it a little bit different from the band uniform.
I didn't even realize those were pyramids at first. I thought they were just diagonal streaks. That's amazing. The shadowing of the pyramid side of it, because that's a nice line. I mean, again, with the unitard, we'd like to have a little bit more towards the bottom or the middle section, but that line, it's actually the printed graphic or the photo. It's not just a shape.
Oh, I like those two colors together. I feel like it's similar to the one we talked about earlier, where I wish it, like the blue maybe engulfed it a little bit more, to just make it a little bit brighter in contrast to everything else. Everything so far feels the same across the board, which again, it's not a bad thing whenever you're putting a program or a look together, but often you want to see the differences from uniform to uniform as you're creating the look to really utilize that as part of your visual package.
For this, I'm really thinking about how it's going to look in the sun, and I'm afraid that if it's in direct sunlight, these colors are going to get super washed out because they're not that saturated.
Yeah, that's definitely good things to think about, as well with the background of the field. That's really, really smart.
And I'd like to see the red and the blues be just a lot brighter, so that we're doing a desert show. It's already just going to be drab, and we have to infuse it. And I think that there's those little. It's like a pastel-y right now, but what if it was a lot more vibrant? I think it might pop.
I agree with that.
Next up is Julian, whose show themes included Fire and Ice, Macabre, and Twinkle.
As you can see, all the gradient designs has a nice halfway point. We have a good left back sleeve starting that print, giving various accents that you can use with maybe the different arms, and that way you can kind of fool the audience and give them a nice, good, haunted feeling whenever you are out there on the field, and also can be seen very far and across the way for the audience to see and be in a haunted type of feeling.
Oh, cool. It has some red in the back.
Nice pop of color.
Okay, we're going with the same intent. One thing I do like so far about the red, because at first I saw it and it just looked like plain black in the front, is that it does give you that option to do front and back when you're doing drilling choreography to change the color in the stage. But I mean, I feel similar to some of the other ones we've seen that I wish that maybe the color guard's back was a different color, depending on what the intent of the show is from the band jacket.
Yeah, my only thing with this is like if everyone's facing the back, you're gonna lose the sections. Like you're gonna lose the color guard if everyone's facing the back. If everyone's facing the front, you're probably gonna lose someone.
Yeah, especially when they face the front. Yeah, and then it becomes a thing of coordination whenever you're writing choreography and drill at the same time. I definitely do wish maybe they would have played with the back tones or maybe added something subtle in the front to kind of help everything tie in while playing on with the same patch in the back.
Twinkle has that nice journey and across the various cosmos. Here we have the band top, has a nice good flare for a Space Cadet type uniform. We have the buttons here, the nice good purple sleeve to help out, give a nice juxtaposition. And then of course with Twinkle you gotta have the stars across the whole outfit. And then you have a nice big star on the side here, giving a good little design element and breaking up the Cosmo print to make sure that we get a nice good flare.